Well, hello and welcome to a word concerning prayer. I am Pastor Randall from Pine Lake Baptist Church, and we're glad you joined us today. Luke's narrative in the book of Acts repeatedly calls attention to the primacy of prayer in the life of the Jerusalem church. In chapter 6 of Acts, the apostles task the church with selecting 7 men of good reputation and full of the Spirit to attend the daily charitable contributions. The compelling purpose for the selection of these assistants to the apostles was that the apostles might continually, quote, devote themselves to prayer and the ministry of the word, end quote, Acts 6, verses 2 and 4. Consider again the Lucan summary, which informs us, quote, the number of disciples multiplied greatly in Jerusalem subsequent to this action by the church that allowed the apostles to devote themselves to prayer and preaching of the word. The primacy of prayer is very evident here, both in the leadership and the laity of the Jerusalem church. Luke apprises us also of Peter and John going down to Samaria, that place that's to be avoided at all costs by every self-respecting Jew, and they went there to pray for those converted under Philip's ministry in Acts chapter 8, verses 14 and 15. Again, Saul of Tarsus was found praying immediately after his conversion on the road to Damascus, Acts 9:11. Peter prayed beside the corpse of Tabitha in Joppa, and she was raised from the dead, Acts 9 and 40. Again, Peter was praying on the rooftop of the house of Simon the tanner in Joppa when Cornelius's men came to fetch him to the centurion's house for gospel purposes, Acts 10, 9 through 20, and chapter 11, verses 5 through 18. When Peter was imprisoned by Herod Agrippa, the Jerusalem church prayed earnestly for him, and God supernaturally delivered Peter from prison and then brought him to the very house where the church was praying, Acts chapter 12, verses 1 through 17. Again, Saul and Barnabas were commissioned for their first and historic missionary excursion by the church at Antioch, Syria, and this took place after they fasted and prayed. In summary, the Jerusalem church was incubated and birthed during times of intensive, intentional prayer. This church was imbued with the immense power of the Holy Spirit through the medium of prayer. Both the laity of the church, including new converts, and the leadership devoted themselves to regular and rigorous prayer. Prayer prefaced and buttressed every aspect of their ministry and growth. Prayer was their first and primary kingdom discipline, and God was pleased to hear and answer and pour out his blessings upon the faithful prayer life of this fledgling community of believers. The first church was undeniably a praying church, and their commitment to prayer is paradigmatic for the work of church revitalization. Will we thus devote ourselves to prayer, that we might likewise experience the mighty power and presence of God among us?